welcome to the Carousel.
Connecting your brain and body.
Yeah, this is bad. Hold on.
Okay, TA.
This the Carousel, the host Al Flemings. Came to lock the game like my name, Val Demings. Fantasy and flavors,
Yeah.
new addition. The intro to the show is brought by True Ambition. Round and round we go, shouts out to Eric Wilson. Knowledge for your wins, all you gotta do is listen. Hungry for info, food for thought, got all your fixing. You know, FOO, value facts over opinion. 4-3-3-4, my defense beats our system. Injury report,
Flex.
winning while I'm grinning. Dominate the point of attack from the line of scrimmage. For long as you can't beat my squad, go gather all your minions. Carousel,
Yeah.
carousel,
Yeah.
carousel. This the carousel. On or you're off, either you're
How you doing, Carrie? Can you hear me?
Hello, Alex.
Can you?
I can't hear you though, sir.
Hi. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything you're saying. I don't know.
This isn't good because I can hear you. Talk to me about your Chiefs. All right, Carrie.
Well,
Talk
I
to
can't
me
hear what you're
about
saying, sir, but
Chiefs.
I do know you wanted me to kind of talk about the Chiefs. After taking a loss to Baltimore this last week. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad we have our first L. Honestly, I know we're going to meet them up again. We'll split the difference. They take the win at the beginning of the season. We'll take it at the end of the season, and that's fine with me. A lot of people have been trash talking our defense, but here's what I know is when Spags came in and we had the addition of Frank Clark and the Honey Badger, it took a few weeks for everything to gel and start getting in. We have a brand new right side to the defense. If you remember, Cleveland exposed that. And why wouldn't the Ravens go ahead and pick apart that side? Because they're new. Some of them are rookies, some of them are new to our system. So it's taken a moment to get gel and be able to stand their ground, get them stopped. So I see that as the season progresses, and this last week was the first with the Ravens was the first time we got to see the Honey Badger on the field as well as Frank Clark. So as soon as you start seeing these guys all gel together, it's going to start growing, and I have no concerns about our defense. Now our offense, our O-line especially is starting to really show up and give Patrick that time that he needs in the pocket to be able to pick out the person he's throwing to. I see that getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on, again, because we have new people into the system. We're going up against Herbert in the Chargers. I see this as a great game. It's going to be intense. But after watching Herbert and Dallas go head to head, the Chargers lost because they played the game to give themselves penalties. And as a Chiefs fan, I know all about that. Even in the last time that we didn't win the AFC Championship, Dee Ford took that championship away from us with an offsides. And so I understand that. I've lived through a team doing that. So I don't know if it's because the Chargers have been rebuilding and they have a whole bunch of new, and Herbert is also gaining control, learning more about his position, that's what has caused that. But actually, I hope that is still something that comes forward, because why wouldn't we want to let them have the penalties and us to take advantage of that situation? I think that's what may cause them to lose. I do see Herbert as an up-and-coming star, and I do see that the Chargers are going to be coming for us. But I think that the Chiefs are going to come out on top, because we're just starting to get solid in the defense, and I think that's going to start showing up soon. Thank you, sir. Thanks for taking care.
Hello, Alex. All right, I don't know where my opponent is for today. All right. Oh, there he is. Hello, Travis.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Catching some feedback. You guys hear me okay?
So Chicago is on.
Uh-oh, he's frozen.
There you go. How about that, guys? Can you hear me okay? Sorry about that. I had to do some adjustments here.
Oh, yeah.
I got nothing.
Just fine.
There you go. Perfect. Love it, baby. Love it.
Can you hear me
Matthew,
now?
what are you thinking about with the Browns against the Bears this weekend?
I mean, I think it's going to be one of the more intriguing matchups of the weekend. I mean, we're talking about a Browns defense that I hate to say has quite frankly struggled. So the question is, will the opposing quarterback, Justin Fields, take advantage of that somehow? And I know there's this notion that former Ohio State quarterbacks, they never work out in the NFL. Just forget about them. They're never going to do anything. But let's see if Justin Fields is going to be that quarterback to change the name of that game. I think they're going against a very tough Browns team, but the Browns really bring an offense that's just going to challenge the heck out of that Bears defense, even the likes of Khalil Mack. Now, the bad news is Jarvis Landry is going to be out like 2 to 3 weeks, but Odell Beckham Jr. will be back for this game. And the thing I want to see right away is, how are they going to use Odell Beckham? Are they going to use him on deep routes, bubble screens? Are they going to change it up? And I think that's what's going to happen. The one thing I like about the Cleveland offense, they're getting everybody involved, even the fullback. And I kid you not. I mean, even Andy Janovich has a rushing touchdown already. So they're going to spread the ball out. I think they're going to get Odell involved early. We already know what they're going to do with the run. I mean, we can play that the whole show, quite frankly. I think it's going to be a great passing attack, though. Beckham's going to get his. Rashard Higgins, Austin Hooper, David Njoku, and just everybody else getting involved early and often. I think they're going to get creative with some packages with Odell Beckham and rookie Mitchell Schwartz, because these guys are really, really fast. So I think that's where things are going to get interesting. Hopefully the offensive linemen will play. Almost all of them are on injury report yet again, but we saw how that went last week. They got them in there. So hopefully the team will be okay there.
Well, this is the matchup I'm looking at right now, is that OBJ matchup against Jalen Johnson. That's the Bears' #1 quarterback. See if that's the matchup, because if they put him up against Vindor, then that's a definite mismatch in Odell Beckham's favor. But, it all starts and stops with this Bears offensive line against that monster defensive front for Cleveland. If Jason Peters, which I think has struggled mightily, was the number 9 rated tackle so far in the first 2 games, which is amazing to me. But the Bears have been able to run the ball a little bit, but they have been totally banged up on the O-line. So we'll see if they're able to get David Montgomery going. And yes, did he struggle a little bit last week? But that was more about the offensive line than it was actually David Montgomery, who has looked rock solid this year. But the Bears can do it as far as an offensive weapon standpoint. So they're going to have some Cleveland's going to have some matchups on their hands, and only if Matt Nagy, who I can't stand as an offensive play caller, gets Justin Fields out on the rollout and let him do some things not only with his feet but with the deep ball, because the Bears can throw the deep. The Bears can, when they want to, when Nagy lets them. Justin Fields can throw the deep ball, and I think you guys know that. And he has more touch and more deep ball accuracy than Mitch Trubisky has ever had in his career. And that's one of the reasons why they got rid of Mitch. no long ball, and he can't read a defense. So my matchups this week, obviously, is that defensive line going up against that makeshift Bears offensive line. And if the Bears can compete up front, they have a chance to win this game.
Okay, well, I'd actually like to piggyback off that a little bit.
Sure.
I think Justin Fields is going to have an amazing first game. I don't think anything's wrong with him at all. I think he is going to throw some deep passes, especially to one of the best receivers in the NFL, Allen Robinson, and against a Cleveland defense who is just not doing enough against the pass. The secondary is having some struggles, although Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome can certainly provide a lot of speed in covering even the best of all wideouts, but so far I haven't seen enough. The fans are criticizing Joe Woods like crazy. They don't think he's being aggressive enough with the play calling. Maybe that ends against Justin Fields. They'll test a rookie out, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of blitz packages right away.
You have to come after him, Matthew, because Robinson dropped a touchdown last week. He just missed a touch. I mean, the ball was in a peach basket by Fields, one of the nicest throws you're going to see, especially out of a rookie. And then you had Darnell Mooney, who just missed a touchdown going off his fingertips. So the points were there, but Fields did make a couple of mistakes. But, Jason Peters did let him get hit from the blind side, fumbled the ball, and just made an unbelievable save. Or, the guy, Melvin Williams, is still running to the end zone right now. And the Bears had a good chance of losing that game on a big comeback last week by Joe Burrow, who looks, granted, he had 3 interceptions basically in a row, but he looks great for the Bengals. And that future for that Bengal team is definitely a positive arrow going up. What other matchups you think favor Cleveland this week? What do you think Baker's going to do against this Bears questionable secondary? Because Duke Shelley from the safety position is really struggling. And once again, Vendor, the other cornerback for the Bears, has struggled mightily also. So, we could look at Cleveland running away with this game, especially if Fields struggles early and often. And, Cleveland gets out to a decent lead, because I don't think the Bears can come back from a heavy deficit, not like some of the other teams in the league. So if Baker looks sharp, gets the ball out of his hands quick, because, Robert Quinn, the acquisition by the Bears a couple seasons ago, has been nothing but a bust for this team. He's making tons of money, and another massive failure by Ryan Pace of the Bears. Quinn had a decent game last week and then almost went out of bounds, pushed the quarterback for no reason. That guy would be benched all day long, in my opinion, but he's making too much money, so he has to start for the Bears. Alex, looks like you're coming in, baby.
Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, they can find me, Travis, at Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Matthew, where can they find you, partner?
Well, I have my own website, Sports Influencer, but my articles are shared on NGSE Sports, so you can find all my content on there. It's Ralph Garcia's website. So
that's great. We'll be out at Ducky's covering the Rams and the Buccaneers this weekend. So get your if you're in Tampa, get your butts out to Ducky's, because Ducky's got great food, great coverage of all the NFL games out there. Yours truly will be out there with Peter Blake, and hopefully maybe even Alex Fleming out there. So thanks for having us on the NFL Carousel. Oh, you're going back to Jax. Gotcha, pal. Gotta love
having us, Alex.
All right. Remove screen. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Okay.
Brett's gonna be here shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need to let somebody else go while we're waiting on Brett? Huh? Talk to me about the Panthers? I'm on it. We're looking good. I'd like to see us not be so conservative in the red zone. I have a couple of issues with Brady, but our OC, not Tom Brady. I mean, you know what issues with Tom, but I digress. But we're looking pretty good. I know we should have blown out the Jets. Our defense let up a little bit, but against the Jets, they shouldn't have, because they had a lot of resting time. Our L was on the field so much. But last week, we only held Kamara about 24 yards. So happy about that. That made me so excited, because I really don't like the Saints at all. Like, they're by me NFC Championship. At the end of the day, I do think that's still going to go to Tampa Bay. Because Tom Brady is the GOAT of postseason. There's no doubt about that. I am a little, I'm not worried about tonight. I never like it when we're not the underdogs, just from a historical point of view. And we're, like, according to Yahoo and Vegas, we're supposed to win by 8. So that always concerns me a little bit, but I'm not that concerned because I know Davis Miles has no good footwork. So, and Texans are just hurting all around right now.
I see. If you could just hear me about the next game.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Alex. The microphone got a little fuzzy.
Score for tonight's game. The score?
Let me go 31-20.
I see. I like that. Doesn't matter what I think. I mean, I think Carolina's going to win this game convincingly, but it's next man up. You know, whatever happens next. Have you seen Davis Mills' neck? He's got 2 necks. He's got a giraffe.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. Next man up. Literally.
Really?
Yeah.
No footwork. I mean,
Mr. Wilson, how are you? Yeah, he's got a really big neck.
He really does. It's really long, too. Turtlenecks must not bother him.
All right, I'm going to talk to a Washington fan. Let the people know where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on the NBA Carousel. You can find me on Snowman in the Morning on occasion. You can find me on Twitter, Jenna Carroll. You can find me on Facebook. And I'm just pretty much all over the place. I love being on Reddit too. So thanks, Alex. Brett, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to debate you, but I do think we're going to kick your butt tonight.
Right on. Thank you. All right. Now, let's talk about the Washington football team. They've had to deal with a lot of turmoil and a lot of ignorant fans, if you will. But there's a diehard fan in the house, and the coach is going to let you know what's up. So if you could, enter in, coach.
What's going on, Alex?
Bro, I'm straight struggling. I am not the producer type. I'm the host. I'm not the producer, as you can see. But I'm glad my man Eric came in to save the day. Hey, Washington football team did not look good against the Giants, bro. What's going on?
Absolutely. It's it was one of those situations where a lot of things kind of went a little bit wrong. Our defense, once again, is as far as has been the Achilles heel so far. Unfortunately, you look at what Daniel Jones was able to do. Was it Michael Vick on the field or was it Daniel Jones? I mean, it felt like that as far as those constant runs and that run defense. But I was proud of the fact that they do have a bend but don't break defense. We getting gashed over the middle. Obviously, against the Chargers, Keenan Allen, Mike Will had a field day. It was pass and catch with Justin Herbert and those guys. And the same thing kind of happened in the situation with the Giants. So I just look at one of those things where even in that Giants game, there was a lot of things that went wrong, but that team didn't fold. I definitely that 2 minute, almost deja vu, where we had a turnover with 2 minutes to go in our on our side of the field, and luckily we just held them to a field goal. And then luckily we came down the field and then won by that single point. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's it's a lot of things on the rise that's kind of one of those things where you look at it, it's a little bit of daunting, but they held strong. I give them that. It's bend but don't break defense. It's not the sexiest defense, but hey, we're taking care of business.
You know that your week 3 opponent is the Buffalo Bills, right? You know you're going to have to score about 28 to 30 points to beat these guys, right?
Alex, we talked about it a few weeks ago when you came on my show. The first thing you said, "Oh, September 26th, you got Buffalo, week 3." Oh, and I told you the same thing. We're gonna pack our lunch, but luckily this time we're gonna bring our lunch. But now we got a cold glass of Heineken, so I think we're gonna be all right.
All right. What's your prediction for this game?
I think this game is gonna be. Scoring wise, I think Washington will actually win this football game. I actually got Washington win this game 28 to 24.
Washington winning 28 to 24. All right. How many sacks you got on Josh Allen?
We're probably gonna get about I'm gonna say 4, and I'm gonna say we're gonna get about 8 quarterback hits with 4 sacks.
8 hits, 4 sacks.
Yeah.
Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram under Couch Coach Live. Check out our podcast, Couch Coach Live. Anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, you name it, we're there. And also check out our YouTube page, Couch Coach Live.
Carousel. 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 This the carousel. On or you off. Either you're on or you're off. Either you're on or you're off. Knock them out. Carousel. 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 This the carousel. On or you're off. Either you're on or you're off. Either you're on or you're off. Knock them out.
I am curious about the real Green Bay Packers. Are the real Green Bay what I saw in week 1 in Jacksonville, or what we saw Monday night, week 2 against the Lions? Well, we got another NFC Championship game from a couple of years ago. Green Bay versus San Francisco for Sunday Night Football. Please enter in Tyler Ingram.
What's up, Alex? How you doing?
Struggling. As you can see, I'm not the producer.
I gotcha.
But I do have questions. Aaron Rodgers had a bounce-back performance with 255 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, one of them was a barely a yard pass to Aaron Jones, but he was putting the needle all night. San Francisco has seemed to have this guy's number. What do you expect for Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that game with San Francisco. What I am worried about is that pass rush of theirs. Nick Bosa has 3 sacks on the season for them. Dee Ford's got a sack on the season. The Packers don't have any sacks on their defense. They're ailing on the defense, not missing Zadarius Smith. This offensive line is a makeshift offensive line with the Packers. We got some new guys on there. We got, Myers coming from Ohio State. Elgin Jenkins has kind of had to pick up the workload playing left tackle since David Bakatari's out for 7 weeks. So I'm curious to know if this offensive line can protect Aaron Rodgers and make sure that Nick Bosa and Dee Ford doesn't get to him.
Let's imagine I play fantasy and I don't have Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones. Give me a name of a Packer I need to keep on the radar.
You need to keep Robert Tonyan on the radar, absolutely. Big play Bobby is what they call him. Aaron Rodgers is going to him. Last week, too, I will say, is that Randall Cobb is starting to get more in action. And Aaron, at his press conference, even mentioned that he wants to see Randall Cobb more on the field. So I think Robert Tonyan and Randall Cobb are going to be 2 guys to really glue in on. And, hey, A.J. Dillon's coming along, too. I know Aaron Jones had that big game, but A.J. Dillon's time is coming. I think he's going to have a big game this week as well.
San Francisco, the defense scares me. The offense doesn't.
Right.
If you had to shut somebody down on the offense, would it be Kittle or Samuel?
That's a tough one because, I think a lot of teams, with Kevin King being kind of like a problem, he's been problematic for the Packers. So, I think Deebo Samuel could have a big game. However, we saw Eric Stokes play a little bit last week. He came in. He had 3 breakups on the passes. So I think we're going to see him playing more. But Kittle's the problem because Hawkinson went for 8 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown against us. So I think George Kittle is going to be the guy that we actually need to shut down. He's the one that I'm the most worried about on San Francisco's offense.
Does the Green Bay Packers win the NFC North?
Yes, they win the NFC North. I still think they're the best team. I think a lot of the things that we're seeing them kind of sleepwalk into this season, but I do think there is some, key injuries. We don't have a pass rush right now with Zadarius Smith out. That's a big one. David Bakatari, he's resting up for the first 6 weeks, but when he comes back, he is one of the best left tackles in football. I still think they're the best team. I think Detroit, is rebuilding. Justin Fields is going to get his start, but the Bears have question marks, on that offensive line as well. And Minnesota, I don't know what happened to Minnesota. Their defense looks in shambles right now. I think the Packers run away with the North still.
Hey, Tyler, thank you for showing up on the show, and let the people know where they can find you.
Absolutely. You guys can catch me on The Gauntlet, hosted by James Tatum on Tuesday nights at 9:15. You can also catch me on The Sip Off, hosted by Megan Price on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. And you can also catch me in Cage Ragers. I talk MMA and the combat fighting game.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, is Denver for real? Are they pretenders? Because I don't have faith. And I'm a man who's guided by faith, not sight. Let's enter in Scoop Scopes, Jordan Long.
Hey, Alex.
I don't believe in Denver. Convince me.
Well, let's see. We have one of the best defenses in the league right now, which we're fifth in scoring defense. We're not giving up a lot on the in the air. The thing is, though, you have to realize our defense was going to be one of the better defense in the league. We got Ronald Derby in free agency. I know he's hurt, but we also got Kyle Fuller. Of course, that secondary is unbelievable with Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, and we got Patrick Surtain. Plus, if you look at the linebacking core, it's hurting right now with Bradley Chubb out with bone spurts, but you still have Von Miller, who's one of the best linebackers in the game. Now, granted, we've only played the Giants. We've also played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not exactly what we call juggernauts, but the fact of the matter is these are still NFL teams. We are still beating them. And if you look at the offense, Teddy Bridgewater is being steady Teddy. He's throwing the ball down the field. He's not forcing it into coverage, which is a big thing. We haven't had any turnovers by him. We've had one fumble. Plus, if you look at the defensive side, even though I know I'm going back to the defensive side, we have had 4 sacks on Trevor Lawrence last week. The thing is who knows if we're for real? Right now, I feel like we are, but we've played, like I said, not exactly what I would call juggernauts. Once after this week against the Jets, which I think we should win, we play the Baltimore Ravens and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. That will determine where we are.
Did you say that you should win against the Jets? Like you're not confident against the Jets?
I am confident that we are going to win, and this is a game we should win. But the problem is we can't look forward to the Baltimore Ravens. That is the game that's going to determine how good this team is. If we end up losing to the Jets and Zach Wilson, which we've done in the past where we've played to the ability of the opponents. We can't do that, but we should beat the Jets with Zach Wilson as a rookie quarterback. If we don't beat the Jets and you're 2-1 going into the Ravens game, that's a problem.
All right, then tell me, what's your assessment of Teddy Two Gloves so far?
I've been really impressed with Teddy Bridgewater. He's been able to throw the ball down the field, which we didn't see in preseason. I really thought that Drew Lock actually won the job because of the fact that he can throw the ball down the field. The nice thing about Teddy Bridgewater is he's looking at all his receivers. He's looking through his progressions. And even if it's a 5-yard pass, that's the guy that's wide open. As we saw with Drew Lock, he's just locking into one receiver and it's getting picked off. With Bridgewater, he can do so much more in the pocket. He's a mobile quarterback, as we've seen. And if you're going to go ahead and run around in the pocket, that really helps your receivers get open. So I've been really impressed. I think this is the quarterback that we need for the Denver Broncos. We've been so snake bitten with the quarterback position, but I'm telling you right now, If Teddy Bridgewater continues to do what he does and doesn't force the turnovers, he's our quarterback of the future.
All right. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at SportsScoop1 and also on my own blog that I write Mondays through Fridays at sports-scoop.com. And I will be on the NBA Carousel on Mondays starting in October with Megan Price.
Carousel, 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 this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out. Carousel, 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 this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out.
I want to add a man that had something to say to Jennifer, but just couldn't make the time slot because he's so busy. By the way, he's got a brand new podcast and Facebook page on Locked On Astros. Can we welcome in H-Town Wheelhouse's own Brett Chauncey? No? Brett's not here no more? I was about to say Brett's here. Where's Brett?
I'm right
H-Town
here.
Wheelhouse.
Hey, you know what?
Welcome to the book.
What? Hey, thank you. I'm sorry. I was trying to do my disappear reappearing act, just like the Houston Texans have done in the first week to the second week, and now we got Davis Mills, and it looks like Deshaun Watson will not take a single snap this season, according to Mr. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. Davis Mills is starting tonight against a brutal and horrific defensive front. While Davis Mills had his moments in the preseason, this is big boy football. And, well, we don't have a big boy playing a big boy's game right now. Unfortunately, he may look a little like David Carr after the night's over. I mean, Derek Carr. I mean, no, yeah, David Carr, my bad. You know, that, man, I tell you, man, this is, if this isn't football purgatory, I don't know what is.
I just hope Davis Mills gets his neck.
Yes. I think.
What are your expectations of the Houston Texans this year, bro?
You know, if Tyrod Taylor comes back and gets healthy, I think they can win a few games. I mean, he looked good. He looked good. I mean, give him credit. You know, give this defense credit for being coached up. I mean, the team looks like it's better coached than it's been in a few seasons. I think Culley. I think Lovie Smith. I think they've done a damn good job. I mean, look at what they got going. I mean, look at what they have to work with, and it's just something about when you get the coaching change, it helps. But man, you've got to have the personnel. And they don't have the personnel. But with what they have on the defensive side, they haven't done horrible. I think we give the coaches credit where credit is due. But when you've been depleted talent-wise, it's really hard to go out there and compete with the real big ballers. I'm sorry, say that again. You were breaking up on my end. I don't know if it's me or you, Alex. I apologize.
Expectations for tonight's game. What do you think the final score will be?
You know, I guess the question.
Hey, Brett, let me chime in real quick, my brother. Alex wanted to know what you think the final score is going to be tonight and just your expectation for Houston.
Okay, so the final score tonight, I haven't seen the actual name or the actual number, but I think the Panthers cover tonight, and I think they're probably going to win 28 to. I'll give the Texans 13 for a couple of field goals and maybe a touchdown, but I don't see them getting over 13 points. And the Texans, if Tyrod Taylor comes back, will maybe win 3 or 4 games more, and that's it if they do that. But Tyrod Taylor, he's got to be healthy. And when he went down with a hamstring injury, saying he's out for a month, we couldn't have gotten any worse news because, like I said, the dude came in, nobody's like, oh, he's Tyrod Taylor. I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's see. And what did he do first week? He put on a show. And like I said, give David Culley, give Kelly, and give Lovie Smith credit. The coaches have taken a you-know-what show and made a little something out of it. So I think they win 4 or 5 games tops, but that may be too high of an expectation at this point.
Brett Chauncey, H-Town Wheelhouse. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and at Strohs411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Strohs. We are all H-Town all the time. We are all, we're all in for the Texans. We're all in for the Astros. So as we get ready for the October run, we are going to back the Texans no matter what. So go David Culley. We got your back. Tyrod Taylor, get better because we need you back. Y'all have a good one. I'm H-Town, and I'm out.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be for the faint of heart. Monday Night Football is Philadelphia versus Dallas, one of the longest rivalries next to Chicago versus Green Bay. Week 3, one team has no defense. The other team is leading the league in turnovers caused by the defense. So I think it's only right that we have Philadelphia and Dallas in the house. Please enter in Rob Fly Eagles and our very own Believe in the Pac-12, Michael Cartenuto. Now, gentlemen, let's be gentlemen. We don't like each other. Let's at least respect each other. I believe Philadelphia is on the road. So, Rob, you will go first. You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds to disparage, discriminate, and brutalize the Dallas Cowboys and try to mention something about the game. Mike is going to come back with 1 minute and 30 and let him, how he feels about you and your franchise and your cheesesteaks. Then you'll have a 1 minute retort. Rob, you go first. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You got to unmute.
There we go. I got it.
There we go. You're minute 30.
So here's
now.
Here's how it's going to go down. Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball and get first downs and keep matriculating the ball down the field. I'm not. Calm down. We're going to matriculate the ball down the field. We're going to get first downs. We're going to tire out your defense, and we're going to score. And, basically that's how it's going to break down Monday night. We got speed at the wideout position, and that's going to hurt you because you need to look out for Quez Watkins. That boy's going to be special in this league. I think he'll be better than our first-round pick. The explosive plays are going to hurt Dallas because, well, they're Dallas. So, and my dog, Philly, told me that Dallas is going to catch a beatdown to the 5th degree. She was just telling me all about it. Huh, Philly? So, you got your little Dak Prescott. He could throw for 400 yards and five touchdowns or whatever, But, at the end of the day, our defensive line will get to you, and that's going to be that. We're going to get after the quarterback. We're going to disrupt your game plan. And, while it might be close because it's an NFC East, clash up thing, let me tell you something. We're going to score touchdowns. And listen, you've got to come see us last game of the season. So let's keep all that in mind as well.
Mike, he kept it real. What do you have to say?
If we're gonna talk defense, getting to it. I don't know. There's this guy Micah Parsons that has 9 tackles and 1 sack. Played his first game in the NFL at defensive end last week against the Chargers. Oh, and just happened to punch Justin Herbert in the face. So look, obviously, DeMarcus Lawrence won't be back this week. You know how I feel about Anthony Brown, Alex. It's tough for me to mention his name because he's fast and he can cover, but he can't do both at the same time. That being said, Trayvon Diggs is a man. You're not throwing his way. So when Micah Parsons, which is so great, a Penn State guy, a Penn State linebacker, being a linebacker for the Cowboys, crushing Jalen Hurts when he's trying to get away from him. But let's look at the Cowboys offense. Everybody's up in arms about Pollard running the ball. Why? You can have 2 running backs. Yeah, Zeke got all the money, and Zeke's going to be fresh as the season goes on if Pollard keeps this up. That being said, let them both run. They'll run all over Philly. And now that Zach Martin's back, Tyron Smith is back, it's funny how the big boys up front are just shoving people. You look at Zach Martin, there's only 2 plays last week where he went backwards. Actually 3. 2 are in the pass game, but 1 in the run game. Outside of that, yeah, the all-pro guard is dominating. Do I even have to get to CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper? We know some people can't stand Amari Cooper, but, he's catching touchdowns, and he's throwing huge blocks. That play before the half last week against San Diego when they're all back and Lamb's just running through the field, pitches it to Zeke, and he almost scores. Yeah, believe me, the Eagles, they let the Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb's going to be dancing all over the star just like T.O. used to. Oh, when he wasn't in Dallas, Alex, and when he was in Dallas. He's going to be dancing on the star because this Eagles team is going to have to be sent back to the courthouse below their stadium when this game is done.
Rob, you have a minute to retort.
Okay.
Let him have it.
Here you go, buddy. You're talking about getting after the quarterback when our quarterback is the second leading rushing quarterback in the league. 146 yards on the ground, and he picks up first downs. He's not scared to leave the pocket. So all that you're going to get after the quarterback stuff is irrelevant to me because the boy Jalen Hurts can ball. He's proven it. He's done things that, have set his foot forward as the Eagles franchise quarterback. Last week, not a very impressive go for, he had a rushing touchdown, but the offense wasn't as great as I would like them to be, but they were playing a good defense. Your defense is crap. We're going to run the ball, hopefully hand it off to our running backs 25 times, chew the clock, let Jalen get some running yards, and we got explosive wideouts, and you're just going to get tore up. That's it, man. You can have all the offense you want, but you talk about your D-line like they're getting after it, and they're not. They're not.
Mike, he was speaking some truth. Hey, what you got to say?
Well, let's be honest. Yeah, like you said, last week when they played a defense, yes, and we all know, it makes me want to vomit to say this, Alex, the Niners defense top to bottom is better than the Cowboys. But a lot of those yards came against the Falcons defense, and I don't even have time to get you started how you feel about the Falcons defense, Alex. So that's the Falcons defense. And there's nobody on the defense. And plus the fact that Leighton Vander Esch is on the weak side. And it's funny because you don't have a running back that's better than Austin Eckler. I'll take Eckler over any of your backs. Yeah, they had a good season, but I'll take Austin Eckler healthy, hands down every time. And they got to him in the backfield. So, look, the defense we know is better than it was last year. Hold on, Alex, because it couldn't get any worse than it was last year. And we all know it was terrible. DeMarcus Lawrence is out, but Randy Gregory's coming back this week, and that's going to shift Micah Parsons into other spots. So that's fine. And Trayvon Diggs, you ain't throwing his way. I don't care if you put Quez Watkins out there. I don't care who you put out there. You ain't throwing on Trayvon Diggs, and that's a fact. So, and look, you haven't won in Dallas since 2017 because we all know Eagles don't fly in Dallas. When it's silent, you hear Eagles crying in Dallas, and that's going to happen once again.
All right, all right. I am so glad we were able to keep this civil. The visiting team first. Rob, you're a new addition to the carousel. This won't be the last time, though. Rob, let the people know where they can find you.
Man, I'm just on Facebook. That's all. I don't really do a whole bunch of this stuff. I just decided to do it because I'm an Eagles fan through and bleed green. So fly, Eagles, fly.
Amen. Michael Carrigtanudo, give the people your resume, please.
Me on Twitter at Diablo00. Yes, that's for Sun Devils. For those of you that don't know, you'll know shortly. But yeah, believe in the Pac-12 basketball, getting that started back up, obviously with college hoops season. I mean, I know football season just started, but college hoops preseason starting, getting that started back up. And you can catch me hanging out next to Alex's pretty face on the Sports Arena on Mondays and most Wednesdays when I don't forget that I have to obviously do a game and work. So yeah, it happens. But then you'll watch me watching the Cowboys cruise to victory on Monday night with Eric Wilson.
Good stuff, Michael. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys. Hey, it's time for a little bit of bear talk. So let me get these guys out of here. Thank you for your contribution. But we need to have a heart-to-heart because we've been waiting for this for a hot minute. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have some bear talk with Eddie DW.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Welcome, brother. Bro, started out bad, it got better. Story of my life. 2.5 minutes is yours, brother. Talk some Bears football.
Yeah, so I mean, we already heard Travis talk a little bit about the Bears earlier, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking specifically about the upcoming game or the last game. I talked about last week a little bit on my website, on my blog, at bdtfootball.com, and last week was great. The defense is looking better. The offensive line staying the course. Matt Nagy's still running the ball. And now, because of an injury, Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback this week. And as excited as I am, there's a little part of me that's still kind of sitting here a little nervous about it, right? When I look at Justin Fields and Matt Nagy, and Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy really started to put Mitch in a box. Now, Fields has a way more broad skill set than Mitch Trubisky ever did. And he hasn't taken a hit that caused his shoulder to dislocate. So hopefully that won't happen. I don't know. I'm really still kind of apprehensive about it. And I hate that because there's no reason that there should be anything but excitement for Justin Fields to make his first start. I can't put it all on Nagy, though, right? 3 drops from big-time receivers last week. Justin Fields has a pick instead of having 1 or 2 touchdown passes. Darnell Mooney drops past the end zone. Allen Robinson drops past the end zone. And drops have kind of become a scary trend for him through 2 weeks. I'm excited for this, though. Defense, like I said, much improved. They're going to need that playing this week. Offensive line, stay in the course. And the run game, man, still pounding it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want to be completely excited. There's something still holding me back that I can't. And I will say this, though. You can take this one of 2 ways. Matt Nagy's still saying Andy Dalton's the starter when he's healthy. Now, obviously, there's the side you can take this and be all mad at Nagy and say, why on earth would you do that? But the flip side of this is maybe it's a little protection for Justin Fields. Because what if he goes out and does lay an egg? What if he doesn't play amazing? What if that one pick is more indicative of what it's going to be? Well, then Justin Fields is still just the backup. But at the same time, I'd rather him just not said anything and let Justin Fields go out there and ball because I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And, hey, it's going to be nothing but up from there if that ends up being the case.
Hey, Eddie, am I crazy? But my spidey senses are thinking Chicago can pull out this victory.
Absolutely. And week 1, I did not realize how bad the defense was going to be. I kind of thought maybe they would even had a chance against the Rams. There were some huge issues, some huge mental mistakes that shouldn't have been made. And it looks like that was cleaned up. So I think that does give them an edge going into week 3. They've got this thing going back and forth where they're alternating always through the year between a home game and then an away game. Only team, I think, to ever have to deal with that. But the plus side of that is they start to get something at home. Maybe they can carry that onto the road. They don't have to worry about a long road stretch to knock them out of it. I think they're going to be able to carry the momentum they had on defense. And if that defense continues with Justin Fields there, I think this offense is going to be elevated, and they absolutely have a great shot at this. And hey, you know, I know we're not talking about the Browns, but losing Jarvis Landry definitely goes in the Bears' favor as well.
Eddie B, let people know where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, just like it says on the screen, at BDT Football on Twitter, bdtfootball.com, and Facebook /BDT Football. Look for us, Big Dudes in the Trenches podcast, anywhere you can find podcasts.
Thank you, brother. All right, now I got to talk to Steelers Nation because you beat Buffalo, which you weren't supposed to beat, and then you lose to Vegas, in which you were supposed to beat. I don't get Steeler Nation, so you know what? Let's enter in Daniel Paquetico, and let's talk to me, brother. What the hell's going on in Steeler land? What's going on?
What's good? What's up, Alex? Yeah, I mean, last week was just a total disaster. Everybody was hurt. Ben was down. Deontay was hurt on the last play in garbage time, which didn't make any sense to me. Why even throw to our best receiver in with like 2 seconds left, and we're down by like 9. And also TJ Watt was hurt. Tyson Alualu is down for a couple of weeks. Yeah, injuries are getting up to us, and yeah, Joe Hayden was out. Also, Devin Bush was out last week, so I think that's the problem right now with this team. We just need to get healthy. There's potential defensively. I mean, look at what we did to Buffalo the first week. We destroyed Josh Allen inside. We put on pressure on him, and that caused him to, regain and packed up for week 2, which he played very well against the Dolphins. He shut them out. And I think that injuries are really hurting this team. And once we get healthy, I think we have the potential to still win the division. I mean, the offense hasn't looked great. Matt Canada's offense hasn't been the best this past few weeks. So I think that the defense is the only way we're trying to win right now. But we can't win if our guys aren't healthy, like Hayden and Watt, of course. Could be.
Now,
who was so great last week? Yeah.
Daniel, you're playing Cincinnati. And 9 out of 10, we laugh at this, but Cincinnati beat you guys last year. So what's the chances of Joe Burrow with his security blanket of Jamar Chase shocking Three Rivers?
Well, I think Joe Hayden is coming back next week and this week, so that's going to be a very big help for the defense. But TJ Watt's still questionable. Devin Bush is still questionable. There's a lot of guys defensively who are questionable, and I think that an upset is very possible here because of injuries. That's basically it. That's basically the reason why we're struggling right now. And I think the Bengals can can shock the world actually, and explode offensively when our best guys on defense aren't playing on Sunday, and Ben may be hurt, which is gonna be a big factor coming this week.
Daniel, do the Pittsburgh Steelers need Cam Newton?
Well, we already have a guy that we think we took a flyer on already. That was Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins was the guy we want to try and develop a little bit, try to learn a little bit, but I don't think we need Cam Newton as of the moment because Cam Newton is gonna be very new to the offense if he does come here, and I don't think he's gonna produce he's gonna produce with a big role because he doesn't know Matt Canada's offense. Nobody actually really knows Matt Canada's offense because it's been like established just a few months from now, and I think Cam Newton will just add more problems to the team more than it will add actually a positive because I don't think Cam Newton can learn an offense that quick, especially when we already have guys like Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins who can try to run the offense better because they know the playbook already.
要看电视。
Daniel, where they can find you, brother.
Oh, yeah. You guys can find me on Facebook on NFL Greatest Debate Room. We talk about football there a lot, trying to get fun with football. And yeah, just on Facebook actually, and of course on Twitter, Daniel Bank 7. If you want, just I'm on there with Dodger Twitter. So yeah, go Steelers. Let's go try to win this week. Thank you, Alex.
Hey, thank you, Daniel. All right, so I got one last treat for everyone. There is a matchup between the Vegas Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. And usually, Jerry is the man to talk to about the Miami Dolphins. And I have a nice little Miss Buttersworth who's representing the Miami Dolphins now. But first, let me get Phil in here.
Y'all did it last week.
Yeah,
Well,
let me
what's
get Phil
up?
in here. Living his best life. Hey, Phil, let the people know where they can find you because this is going to be the last piece of the puzzle. I'm just waiting on your opponent to show up.
Well, y'all can find me at Phil Jones NFL on Twitter. You guys can find me on YouTube for the Unfiltered Truth. And we should have a show coming out tomorrow evening. It's going to be spectacular.
Spectacular, huh? Spectacular?
What's up?
It's spectacular. All right, well, let me introduce you to your opponent since you are going to be in South Beach. Entering, ladies and gentlemen, Fox 1340's own John Shear.
In Las Vegas, I believe.
Is this in Vegas?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that means, John, you go first. John, be kind. Phil, you go second. You guys are not new to the carousel. Let's wrap this up. Go.
All right. So obviously we know about the injuries that the Dolphins and the Raiders are experiencing right now with David Carr. Carr right now. Derek Carr, sorry. Derek Carr is injured. Tua's obviously out. Jacoby Brissett is the guy for the Dolphins. However, we can't forget the Dolphins defense shut down Josh Allen, shut down a rookie in Mac Jones, but still for the most part gave that team trouble, only 16 points against a Bill Belichick-led offense. So Xavier Howard and that defense it's a strong unit, and that's what the Dolphins are going to have to rely on. It's gonna be hard for the Dolphins. I know. Obviously, I cover them. I write for them on Fin Fanatic, so it's not going to be an easy one. But I still think we can pull out the win because I think the Raiders got a little bit of I think they got a little bit lucky these first couple weeks, and I'm not taking anything away from you guys. 2 nice wins. It's a cute start, but come on. I mean, John Gruden always finds a way to mess this up. I mean, go back last year, the Ryan Fitzpatrick game. Phil, did you forget that game, or do you want to go back and live that one over again? You got the all 22. You can go back and watch that game again, right? You know what happened, or do you need me to remind you?
He getting rude already, bro. He getting rude. Phil.
I mean, you could do your little Phil gift dance, but it ain't gonna help this week.
First of all, let me let you know. Your offense is dead last in the NFL, which is horrendous. Terrible. So how dare you even think about speaking against my team? 2, there's a huge difference this time. We have a defense now. This defense has been threatening. It's been threatening from the edge. It's been threatening from the interior. And guess what? We're barely blitzing. The most we've blitzed out of the 2 games this season has been 5. 5. Derek Carr is ready to go. This offense is ready to go. This defense is ready to go. There's nothing much to really say about this game. This game should be wiping the floor with Dolphin guts. Okay? Wiping the floor with the Dolphin guts. I shouldn't hear a word out of your mouth about your team being this and that. This is not like last year, okay? Because you got Casey Hayward that has allowed zero, excuse me, sir, 0 yards, has not allowed a catch all year long.
He's number 1 on Pro Football Focus. Yes, I knew that.
So the Dolphins need to bend the knee.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the clock to run out. All right, my turn. All right. So yes, Casey Hayward is ranked, I believe, number 1 on Pro Football Focus. Max Crosby is top 3 on Pro Football Focus at his position. However, that won't continue. I mean, I know Max Crosby has he's high on that list. I pay attention to the rankings. However, I mean, you're a Raiders fan. I'm a Dolphins fan. We know whenever we get hope, what happens? Things come crashing down to earth. You're a Raiders fan, and now you got a little bit of hope. You got a little taste of winning, and you think that you're going someplace. I mean, come on. You know what happens when the Raiders think that things are actually going to go. I mean, look what happened when they played the Bucks in the Super Bowl in 2002. I mean, you thought you were winning that Super Bowl, right? What happened there? So Raiders have a history of, being let down whenever they think things are going well. So don't forget about Xavier Howard too, because Josh Jacobs is banged up. Kenyon Drake obviously isn't the answer. And you got to pass the ball against Xavier Howard. Look what he did to Josh Allen last week. Josh Allen, the great Josh Allen, shut him down. So you don't know X-Men yet, do you? Because you're going to find out who he is, because you only got Darren Waller. Because you're not going against that secondary. That's the best secondary in the NFL. And you're not beating that secondary. Darren Waller will be your key, because if you don't do it with Waller, you ain't doing it with anybody else.
Are you finished? Are you finished? First off, Darren Waller is unstoppable. We dealt with Xavier Howard last time. You forget we have Hunter Renfrow. You forget we have other weapons on this team, and they can take care of business. The next thing is this. Solomon Thomas, who everybody said was a bust. What did he do last week? Not 1 sack, but 2 sacks. 2. This team is a threat. Put some respect on their name. I don't need to say anything else. I don't need to waste any more time. The Raiders are going to come out. They're going to take care of business. They're going to drive downfield and execute on each and every play that they need to do. Okay? So, settle down, lad.
You
let the big boys handle business.
You also forget that the number 2 ranked safety in the NFL right now is a rookie named Javon Holland. Don't forget that name, because you're going to know come Sunday, the second ranked, he's a rookie, second ranked safety in the entire NFL. He's already number 2, and he's only had 1 start. You watch out. You remember that name.
And you went up against the Patriots, and then you want to go against who?
The Bills.
The Bills' passing game has not been pretty.
Okay, gentlemen. Phil Jones, let the people know where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Phil Jones NFL on Twitter, same on Instagram, Phil Jones on Facebook, and the Unfiltered Truth on YouTube and unfilteredtruth.com.
John Shear, my dog. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me Sideline Sports, the best network that you're going to find Sideline Sports. Tuesday nights, 8:30. Will be on Roku and Apple TV. You can find us there. You can also find me on Fin Fanatic, writing for, obviously, the Miami Dolphins, better than the Raiders. You can find me on Cardiac Cane, writing about the Hurricanes. And you can find me on Twitter, BlueHawks13. I mean, I'm everywhere, man. Pro Football Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, I'm everywhere.
Right. Take care, bro. All right. So I'm going to add him in because he requested to talk to me. If you're still there, let's get this out of the way and we can close the show after you get done destroying me. He's our Arizona Cardinals representative, and I really don't have much to say because I'll be defending the Jags. So take a minute, because I'm not missing the NFL tonight. Take a minute, say your piece.
Oh, well, I was looking forward to this. No, it's not even about destroying the Jags. Like, look, I think everybody's, wanting to fire a rookie coach after 2 weeks is absolutely laughable. But in this day and age, I guess I shouldn't be shocked. But look, focusing on the Cardinals, my guy, they're number one. They're picking the first round last year, number 8, Isaiah Simmons. Kind of all over the place last year. Settling down this year, inside linebacker. It's 2 weeks. Who leads the team in tackles? Isaiah Simmons. Oh, and Buda Baker getting better in the secondary. And Byron Murphy, man, a local Arizona kid. He played his high school ball at Saguaro High School, then he went up to UW, which obviously so did Buda Baker. We know no matter who's coaching up at UW, they can produce guys in the secondary. But you look at what they have on defense. Obviously, look, J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones has 6 tackles and 5 of those are sacks, thanks to beating up the Tennessee Titans. He didn't get a sack last week against Minnesota, but you know what? That's all right because that defense, it was tested. And I know everybody's best friend, Kirk Cousins, had a hell of a first play of a game, but that's about it. But look, it's going to come down to this. Kyler Murray looks better each week. He's running less, and I know it just depends on the offense. I said Cliff Kingsbury is more comfortable calling the offense. Him and Kyler Murray seem to be on the same page, and it doesn't hurt when you get top 3 or 4 speedster in the league and Rondell Moore. And with this kid, he's leading the team in yards.
You don't care about timers, do you? You don't give a damn about timers.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't see it, but go ahead. It's going to be a heck of a game for the Cardinals.
I think the Cardinals have shown their one weakness in the secondary. You may not be able to run on the Cardinals due to the fact that they have A.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, with Isaiah Simmons going crazy with that guy from Tulsa, Zaven Collins. But your secondary is suspect, bro. Suspect secondary. Minnesota was able to throw on your secondary. And if there's a hope and a prayer for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think DJ Shark and Laviska Shenault need to get vertical and go on deep routes because you guys can get exposed through your secondary. Other than that, there's turmoil in Jacksonville. We need to win at least 2 games to say we had a better season than last year. I was a fool and said that they were going to win 7 games because I was optimistic. No, I was not high. I probably do need to be drug tested. I think we might be able to upset you guys. Shocked if you come in. That's all I got.
Upset. It's going west to east, but I look forward to to see what Kyler Murray can do. And again, Trevor Lawrence, you're right. I mean, if they can go vertical, if the offensive line can block for him, because I don't know, 5 sacks against the AFC South in one game for Chandler Jones, he might be able to get 5 more and have the NFL lead through 3 weeks.
Right now, I believe Kyler Murray has 6 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs. And that's a unique individual stat. I think he's the only quarterback to do that back-to-back weeks. Jacksonville's defense, I will be optimistic and say we'll put up a fight. I think you and I both know how this is going down.
Right, Alex. 7 touchdowns passing and 2 rushing for Murray.
Yeah. Those are Tom Brady numbers, who leads the league with 9 touchdown passes.
Wow. Well, I mean, look, it's not real trash talking. The Cardinals, it's crazy to say the Cardinals are the better team. And, well, hey, I know you and I can at least agree on this. They are in the best division in football, so they're going to have to be sharp going into to obviously division play because those 2 games, those 6 games, I should say, against all those opponents, man, it's just going to be insane.
I feel that Arizona's in the prime position because after Tampa takes care of the Rams play the Arizona Cardinals week 4. There's going to be some moving and shaking inside this division. And plus, the 50-50 game between the 49ers and the Packers, I'm not rooting against 49ers, but I wouldn't be mad if they lost.
loss either, but I to what you guys were saying earlier about the Packers defense and how the Niners have rushed over them now that the Niners are healthy on defense, man, I just don't see the Packers beating them.
All right. Hey, Michael, let the people know where they can find you because I'm getting out. We done.
At Diablo00 here on Facebook, Instagram, and of course the wonderful, ever so great Sports Arena, hanging out with this guy and the other smart people, even if they are Dolphins fans who don't know what they're talking about. Just kidding, John. I love you.
Carousel people. Either you're terrible, Mike.
Carousel.
Yeah.
Carousel.
Yeah.
Carousel. This.